feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright. Echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Leading down to Christmas, only a couple of days to go now. Well, a couple if you're in Australia. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, but does that mean the crime stops in the world? I don't think it does. I think we end up with more crime stories than we do at normal times of the year. But I want to talk to you tonight. We have a lot from Texas tonight. We have a whole bunch of stories from Texas for some reason. But first, my 49ers. What a performance that was. 48-27 or something to the Colts. Niners absolutely demolished the Indianapolis Colts on Monday Night Football. That was pretty cool. What a Christmas present to 49er fans out there. Oh, I want to talk to you about this. So this happened a couple of days ago, but I haven't been on. Yesterday, I was away because Ping is great with time management, absolutely the best. And I was like, before I do the show today, I'm gonna do my backyard because we've got family and stuff for Christmas that are gonna come over. And I was like, well, I have to get the line trimmer out and I have to, chop up a couple of dead trees that fell. And I was like, this will take like an hour. Well, it didn't take an hour, it took, like, the entire day, and, but I was halfway through it when the show was supposed to go live, and I couldn't just drop and leave it all there, so I ended up spending my entire day yesterday cleaning up my backyard, mowing, and doing line trimming on my, backyard. Looks good now, and, Ping is very sore, very sore. Very sore today. Hey, it's good to see you all out there in the chat. Nice to have you here tonight. I want to go to Texas, and it's not a very long story, but I never understand people who do this. And it's happened in Australia too. There was a couple of years ago, there was a woman down here who put needles in strawberries, and it set off this giant thing down here where the strawberries were recalled. There was shutdowns and people were charged over it. And then I saw this one out of this one's in Mississippi, but it's a woman with San Antonio ties, so she has ties to Texas, charged after razor blades found in bread in Mississippi Walmart. Now, I believe this happened in Biloxi, Mississippi, and that is where the hurricane hunters are situated. But I wanted to talk about it because I don't understand people who do this type of behavior. Like, what do they have to gain from it except for scaring the public? Is that what they want to do? They want to scare people? All right, here, let's watch the video and then we'll talk about it. If it'll play. Go on.
This is a story that has shocked people around the country, and it has ties to San Antonio. KSAT has discovered that a woman arrested in Mississippi accused of putting razor blades in loaves of bread at Walmart spent several years here in San Antonio.
Yeah, 33-year-old Camille Benson here was charged with attempted mayhem by the Biloxi Police Department on Tuesday. Public records reviewed by KSAT show that Benson is registered to vote with a San Antonio address. She's been arrested at least 4 times here over the last 6 years, according to Bexar County records.
So those charges range from resisting arrest to prostitution. Now, a KSAT crew went to her most recent address in San Antonio on the far north side today. The resident said that he does not know Benson, but believes she lived there prior to him. And she still has a Texas driver's license.
So earlier this week in Mississippi, 2 Walmart customers in the area called the company after they brought home bread with razor blades pushed inside the loaf. Walmart employees say that they pulled more loaves that were tampered with off of store shelves. Her bond is currently set at $100,000.
So there you go. She put it into these razor blades in bread purchased at Walmart, and they're saying here they released surveillance footage of her. That's how they found her. So the razor blades were found in banana nut muffin and several loaves of like normal bread, and yeah, it's strange, right? Like, I don't understand why people do this. It wasn't just razor blades, fishing hooks as well. I find this so strange that someone would want to go around and potentially kill someone or put them through an extremely painful surgery. Here's the photo of the suspect here. What is with the hair? It's like Carrot Top gone wrong. It's like someone went, yes, this doll hair from my like 25-year-old Barbie that sat out in the sun is the look I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. I want the Barbie doll who's been sitting outside for the last 25 years, sun bleached. That's the look I'm going for here. She is an odd one. I don't really get why people do this. Because we all know you're going to get caught. Like, there's surveillance cameras everywhere at Walmarts. Everywhere. There's like thousands of them. It's very lucky that someone found it. Apparently, someone bought one and they actually found it inside and they put up the alert. So they were the ones who were able to warn other people. Can you imagine a child? A child. Imagine if a child did that and like was like, "Mummy, I want some bread or something or a muffin," and bit into it. I mean, a child would be very, could be very, very ill. Linux Audio said, "Put her in jail. Tell other inmates to let loose." I mean, Marlene said, "Face tap means always makes great decisions." Well, could be psycho. They could be a little bit psycho. Hey, bipolar, how you going? Uh, I think if you put things in bread, it should be an attempted murder charge. Because if you ate a fish hook or a razor blade, imagine the damage. Even if you just got the razor blade in your mouth, you could cut an artery in your tongue. It could do a lot of crazy damage to your throat. I mean, it's not pretty. None of it's very pretty. Let me see if I can take you to what they were saying. Yeah, can we get out of this photo? Yeah, here we go. Here's another update about her, but she's been arrested and charged, so that's good. They're saying a tip to investigators is what sent them to a 1,000 block address of Division Street. Well, at least she lived at an at an address that is suitably titled Division Street. She's a 33-year-old Texas woman called Camille Benson, and she has now been charged. These were the original surveillance like footage stills that they put out. What is on her face? It's almost like what is that? They had to censor her nose? Is that what's going on? They're like, no, this is too graphic. We have to censor it from the public. I don't know what she's wearing on her nose. It's not much of a disguise, whatever it is. I'm not sure what's going on there. But they're saying here that's how someone identified her was through the surveillance video. So she's in jail on a $100,000 bond in Harrison County Adult Detention Center and has been charged with attempted mayhem. Attempted mayhem. That's what they charged her with. They're saying here that these issues with the food happened over a few times. It's not like she did it once and then someone found it. It happened over a few different times at a few different stores. So they're saying here that Walmart workers did another sweep of their merchandise for sale and found multiple loaves of bread that were compromised with razor blades. They also found a muffin with a fish hook in it. Someone had poked those items through the plastic packaging. They called the crime strange and said that if customers weren't so vigilant, this could have been worse. Luckily, no injuries were reported. They're saying if you bought any bread at the Biloxi Walmart locations, check for any sharp objects if you find any to let Biloxi police know. But I'm guessing that there's most likely nothing left on the shelves now, but it's a good warning to have. Let's play the little video here. I want to know more about what kind of nutcase, banana nutcase, puts sharp objects inside of food that humans eat. Let's see, WLOX TV. Oh, let's go here. There we go.
Razor blades and fishing hooks found in Walmart baked goods. And now Biloxi police have arrested this woman, 33-year-old Camille Benson. She was identified as a person of interest around noon today, and by 5 o'clock, she was behind bars in Harrison County. The arrest happening as we're learning more about this shocking crime that went unreported for more than a week. Noah Noble has details.
At first glance, you might think this is a piece of moldy bread. Well, it's something worse, much worse. That's a razor blade shoved into a bread loaf sold at Walmart in Biloxi.
Sorry, I don't mean to pause the video so you guys can't watch it all in one go, but I'm so confused. Who wrote his lines? They're like, yes, this is not a piece of moldy bread. This is a razor blade. I don't know how many times in my life I've come across mold and gone, wait, is that a razor blade? I don't think that's ever happened to me. I don't think I've ever confused the two. I've gone, can you take a look at this food? I'm concerned that it's got razor blades all over it. I don't think that ever happens to anyone. So it's a strange thought to put out there.
Why would somebody do this?
I'm not sure. It's a really strange thing to do.
Lieutenant Candace Young says this strange crime started more than a week ago, on December 5th at the Walmart Supercenter on CT Switzer. A customer found a razor blade in a banana nut muffin.
Store associates, combed through their merchandise. They couldn't find any other compromised items. Thought, hey, this is just an isolated event.
And you were not contacted.
And we were not contacted at that time.
2 days later, on the 7th, a customer at the neighborhood Walmart on Pass Road found a razor in a loaf of bread. But police were not called until the 15th, after yet another customer at the Supercenter found razor blades in a loaf of brioche bread.
They did another sweep of their merchandise on display for sale and found multiple loaves of bread that were compromised with razor blades. They also, at that time, found a muffin that had a fish hook in it. Somebody had poked those items through the plastic packaging.
So this wasn't an accident during manufacturing. This
No.
was willfully somebody.
Absolutely. They also combed through all of their merchandise in the back that's not displayed for sale and found nothing that was compromised.
Miraculously, there have been no reports of injuries. You might wonder, what kind of crime does this constitute? Biloxi investigators consulted with the district attorney's office. The most appropriate charge seems to be attempted criminal mayhem. It carries a maximum sentence of 7 years in prison and no less than 6 months in county jail.
If she would have been 3 minutes later.
I'm confused by the mayhem charge as well. I would have thought it would have been something like some sort of assault charge, something like that, attempted assault, attempted bodily injury, not mayhem charge. Like, this is not like you set off like a hoax or something like that where you caused mayhem, which is what that kind of charge sort of insinuates. I really would have thought it would be some sort of physical damage to another human rather than some sort of mayhem charge. But it may be the way, maybe it's the only thing they could get her with. But I mean, to put things in food, I'll show you the one. If you don't know the one from Australia and how much damage it did down here, I'll show you. Hold on. There was one down here, yeah, in 2018. It was this huge deal. I'll see if I can find a little like catch up thing for you. Yeah, we could do that. Yep. here. There we go. Yeah, I'll take you out to this one here. This is back in 2018 when someone decided to put needles in strawberries. I think is this the right one? Yes.
We begin our broadcast with breaking news of an urgent nationwide recall of Woolworths strawberries. This is a picture of a berry that's been sabotaged with a sewing needle. Police believe needles have been deliberately planted in some punnets to cause serious harm, and they have. On Sunday night, a 21-year-old Queensland man was hospitalised after swallowing a strawberry containing part of a needle.
The pain to the stomach was just, it wasn't fun. And the anxiety behind it, not knowing what's happening, it's not a pleasant experience. I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Last night, 2 further victims have come forward. 9 reporter Alice Monfries is with me tonight in the studio. Alice, how widespread is this?
Well, Pete, so far, sewing needles have been found in 3 punnets of strawberries bought from 3 different stores across Australia. The contaminated strawberries are sold under the brands Berry Obsession and Berrylicious. Both are sourced from the same farm in southeast Queensland and distributed to Woolworths supermarkets here in New South Wales and also in Queensland and Victoria. Anyone who has bought strawberries with either label anytime since last Monday is urged to dispose of them immediately. Authorities also want evidence, so if you find a needle, call police. And if you're worried you may have swallowed a fragment, seek medical help immediately.
That could be serious. If someone were to swallow a sewing needle, it could get caught up in their gut.
I feel like saying, thank you, Captain Obvious, for that. She's like, yes, it could cause some damage if it got caught up in their gut and they just cut it. And it was like, yes, thank you for telling us obvious facts, unless you're speaking to a 5-year-old. I don't know how they solved that guy. The fact that he was walking around and outside the hospital less than a day later, maybe it was like a cartoon situation. They just sort of like opened up his mouth and dropped like a really big magnet on a fishing line down his throat, and they went magnet needle fishing, and they were just like, oh, I've got it, and they just reeled it out like they were catching a tuna, and they're like, hey, we got it, yeah, we got the needle. Maybe that's how they did it. Other than that, I got no idea. That's how I think they do it anyway. Marlene said, I swallowed a dime as a toddler, my poor mum. At least you didn't stick it up your nose, because apparently that's a favorite pastime of American children. I hate morning says, I really don't understand since putting dangerous things in grocery store food is a federal crime. So this one ended up being, this particular case in Australia ended up being someone who worked at the strawberry farm. The person who did it was literally a disgruntled former farm employee, and I think they ended up being arrested. They charged a woman accused of involvement, but they ended up dropping those charges in 2021. Why? I don't know. But apparently they did not proceed with those charges. Here, let's see. Why did they not? So this was the person here. They say that's a woman. I don't want to try and label anyone, but sure, okay. A woman accused of putting needles in strawberries has charges dropped in Brisbane court. They say charges against a Queensland woman accused of putting needles in strawberries in 2018 have been dropped. They're saying the woman was a farm supervisor at Berrylicious Farm in Caboolture, north of Brisbane, was arrested after needles began showing up in punnets at supermarkets. This needle thing that happened also set off other people to do it. So it ended up showing up in different places where the original supply did not or was not supplied to. Like they said, Queensland and New South Wales, but then there was ones in Victoria, South Australia, WA. It sort of spread, and then there was other people who were getting in on the action. And yeah, do you guys want to see what the original photo was? I can show it to you in a bit more clarity. So this was the original one that sort of set off the investigation. Someone bit into it and it actually damaged their mouth, and that's why it originally was found out. And it's, you bite into it, get a needle in your mouth, of course it's going to hurt. And you can see it was really tiny. There they are holding it up here. You can see them trying to hold part of that needle. And what police believe was it was some retribution for farm conditions or getting paid or something to do with working on the farm where they produce these strawberries. But interesting to know that they dropped the charges against the woman. Apparently, it was set down to go to trial, but for some reason, yeah, the prosecution have indicated that they no longer that they will no longer proceed with charges against you. You are now discharged and can leave the dock. They said here a spokesperson from the DPP said the decision to dismiss the charges was the result of pre-trial discussions. Following legal arguments over the past 2 days on evidential matters, a determination was made this morning that the Crown no longer had a reasonable prospect of securing a conviction in this matter, and it was discontinued. So basically, they just didn't have enough evidence to put it to a test at trial. So suddenly, though, after that person was arrested and almost taken to trial, all the needles in all the strawberries suddenly disappeared. So whatever happened, they stopped doing it. Woman still said, my brother put caterpillars in his mouth as a baby / toddler. Okay. I don't know why you would do that, but sure. Mine said, okay, is that your personal nickname for yourself? I am a piggy bank. Sounds like some sort of innuendo. Hey, how are you, my friend? What have I learned about Australia this year? If I ever get to visit there, don't eat any produce, especially mushrooms and strawberries. Yeah, don't be eating none of the mushrooms, especially the ones from Erin Patterson. If she offers you any, just decline and say, hey, how did you get out of jail? Why are you in the public? And then she may run away. All right. So yeah, there's a story I wanted to bring to you because hey, it's Texas and why not? We do a lot of stories out of the South. DJ showed me something today. Good to hear from DJ. Apparently, now we've done a lot of stories out of the bayous, right? Well, the story continues out of the bayous. There's today 2 more bodies found in Houston bayous within 10 minutes of each other. And I looked at the headline. I was like, not again. We're back on the serial killer bandwagon for the Houston bayous. So here, I'll play you this small update. 2 more bodies. I don't know what that brings it to for this year. Maybe it's over 30 now. All right, here we go.
Good afternoon. I'm Ugochi Iloka. Starting off with breaking news at the top of your noon hour. Houston police have confirmed with us that 2 bodies have been found in our Houston area bayous. A call was placed in near the 100 block of Crawford Street for the first body and then the other off Old Spanish Trail. Our Troy Kless has the latest. Troy, what can you tell us there from the ground?
Well, Ugochi, I am here again near the corner of Ruiz and Crawford Street, and I'll step out of the way. You can take a look behind me. The scene is taped off while investigators are down the hill trying to piece together what exactly happened. We did also just see within the last 5 minutes, that's the Harris County medical examiner here on scene. But what Houston police tell me is that they received a call around 9:30 this morning about a reported body found in Buffalo Bayou. A dive team is coming out to go into the water. And while it's difficult to see from up here, we could see investigators speaking to homeless people who live underneath a bridge that goes along the bayou here. And again, back out here live, we're also learning about another body that was found this morning. So according to the Houston Police Department, they say that call came in around 9:35 this morning in the 5900 block of Old Spanish Trail, where the Houston police told our photographer on the scene that a body was found in an advanced state of decomposition. And that is most of the information that we know right now. Again, the police department is trying to piece together everything, and there's no indication right now that those two scenes that police are working are connected right now. Of course, we'll update you with the latest information once we learn more. Reporting live in downtown Troy, Kless, KHOU 11 News.
That breaking news.
So it continues. The bodies in the bayou, I think it just goes on year in and year out. But they say, one of the details I found interesting in that news report was that at least one of the bodies had heavy decomposition, which tells me the body wasn't put there in like the last 24 hours and that it was probably in the water for a long period of time, between 3 days and weeks. It could be, multiple weeks, could be a few days. But the fact that it wasn't a fresh cadaver is interesting. Like, why did a body just appear? And then there was another one. So they're saying police received a call at 9:25 a.m. about a body found along Buffalo Bayou at Crawford Street and Ruiz Street in downtown Houston. A second call less than 10 minutes later reported a body along Brays Bayou near Martin Luther King Boulevard and Old Spanish Trail. Police made no mention that the scenes were connected. The locations are about 3.5 miles apart from each other. The body near Brays Bayou was already in an advanced stage of decomposition. No details about the two people have been announced as of Monday afternoon. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, but bit strange that we've had another two and that, it just seems to never end, to be honest. Espion says, love your new logo at the intro. We don't have a new logo. Hey, Donna, good to see you. Good name for a book. That is true. Donna said, you would think they'd pick somewhere else as a dumping ground by now. I don't know. Maybe they like the game. Any new ones in Ladybird Lake? I don't think I've heard anything out of Ladybird in a while. Hold on. I don't think I've heard of any recently. Yeah, I've not heard any since like the summer of this year. So earlier this year in June, something like that. I think that's the last time I heard of one. Yeah, so quite a number of months ago now. I don't think there's been anything recent to do with those ones, unfortunately. Or fortunately, means that maybe the serial killer is taking a break. Taking a break. But yeah, there you go. The bayou continues its mystery of revealing bodies, apparently. Let's see. I think that's all I've got on that one, unfortunately. They haven't done a lot of big updates on it, but DJ wanted you guys to hear about it, so I want to bring it to you. What is this? Ah, that's sad. What is this? According to, I won't do much on this, but it popped up on the Click to Houston website. Apparently, a Mexican Navy aircraft carrying a burn patient crashed in Galveston Bay on Monday. And they're saying the aircraft took off in Mexico, was headed to Galveston when it crashed into the bay. It was carrying a burn victim. That sucks. That's really crap. Apparently, it was Mexican Navy members, 3, and then a lieutenant, but they can't find the lieutenant's body. Terrible. And then there was a patient and a doctor on board as well, and then 2 survivors, a companion of the patient and a nurse. That's terrible. Absolutely terrible. They were saying for this aircraft crash in Galveston Bay, they were saying this was what the air looked like around the time of the crash. Visibility looked really, really low. So unfortunately, a bunch of people died in another air crash. How sad. Yeah, look at the conditions though. Pretty awful. I want to. So we talked a couple of sort of like true crime, and sometimes Ping likes to say, "Can animals be serial killers?" And we sometimes do stories about animals who commit crimes. And tonight, I have one for you out of California. Hold on. All right, here we go. So I saw this particular story pop up, and I wanted to read it to you and talk to you about it because of the quotes in it. And they're saying, missing triathlete 55 feared to be victim of fatal shark attack near Lovers Point in California. And what happened here, I'll explain it to you. So a group of people who go swimming, like a club, went out for their swim around the bay. And while they're in the water, they heard something and saw something. And then when they all decided to retreat to land, they noticed that one of their members was missing. That particular woman, she's 55 years old. Her name is Erica Fox. Listen to the quotes here, though, of why they thought their friend may have been eaten by a shark. So according to U.S. Coast Guard Petty Officer Christopher Sappi, told SFGate that the witness of the shark sighting claimed they saw a shark breach the water with what appeared to be a human body in its mouth. They then witnessed the shark submerge below the waterline without resurfacing. But they continue and say, we cannot necessarily correlate this sighting with the missing person, as there is no confirming evidence of that. So apparently, this group of people who were swimming saw like a big splash in the water, and they all got like a little freaked out and decided to come back to shore. But their friend Erica never made it back to the shoreline. And they're saying they were about 100 yards off Lovers Point. Here, I'll take you out to CBS in San Francisco, maybe. Maybe not. Maybe to a different. Yeah, maybe to KSBW here.
Dan, crews have suspended their search efforts for the day and will not plan to return tomorrow.
Person in the water, 100 yards off of Lovers Point. Possible shark attack.
Police now have identified the woman as 55-year-old Erica Fox, a resident of Monterey County. Her family has been notified. Fox is a co-founder of a swimming group called the Kelp Crawlers. This according to another swimmer in the group. Crews have suspended their search efforts as of now, after totaling more than 15 hours. Around noon yesterday, Fox was reported missing from other members when she didn't make it back to shore. And witnesses told police that they saw a shark attack in the area. Police still believe today that a shark was involved. Multiple agencies showed up to assist with the search efforts and suspended their search around 8 last night. Search and rescue operations continued this morning around 7. U.S. Coast Guard, Monterey Fire, Monterey County Sheriff's Office, CAL FIRE, and Pacific Grove Police were all present. Crews use aircraft, boats, drones, and divers. Beachgoers we spoke to are still in shock.
Just crazy. It just never happens. You know, we walk this walk all the time and people are in the water at the cove. It's unheard of.
People have been attacked by sharks before here, but as far as I know, they've survived. And to have this happen right before the holidays is very, very sad.
I agree. Very sad, like right near the holidays, right? I just, I find it interesting that this petty officer from the Coast Guard got a direct sighting from someone in that swim group, and They literally saw a shark jump out of the water with a human in its jaws, like a body, and then go back in the water and swim away with the body. And then the petty officer's like, well, no, we can't correlate that with a shark attack. That could have been the shark's best friend. They could have been going on a lunch date. Who knows what the shark was doing? No one said this was a shark attack. I think that is strange. I think if you've got an eyewitness who tells you they saw a body in a shark large enough to carry a human, like how big is that shark that it can carry a human comfortably and jump out of the water with it like it's Jaws? I mean, it must be a pretty large animal. So I know they're like, oh, we don't know if this woman was eaten by a shark. I would think that, I think this shark did take her. I don't think there's too much of like evidence that we need to find, because it's not like she's turned up back on the shoreline saying, hey, I'm all right. The shark didn't take me. We were out on a lunch date. He's my friend. No, that didn't happen. So unfortunately, Erica Fox, 55, in Monterey County, is presumed dead. Now, they did search the area. They searched the water for any body parts or signs that a human had been killed in the water, a lot of blood. So one of the things they look for in shark attacks is a huge amount of like sea life activity, birds, fish, stuff like that, that might be feeding on the remains of the human, which is something that they do look for. Sort of like when a plane crashes in the water, they look for an oil slick. Well, they sort of look for that when they're looking for a shark attack. Woman of Steel said there are some monster sharks out there. Well, I know California has great white sharks. So, Woman of Steel said, remember the doctor a few years ago who was snatched and killed? They got his body back, however. I don't know if they'll get this lady's body back. She's been missing quite a while. She's been missing since Sunday. So about 48 hours or so. Actually, 24 hours for you guys. So she's been missing over 24 hours. They have suspended the search for her, and they are not currently actively searching for her because they spent about 15 hours looking for her. I was trying to see if we could find a photo of her. There's got to be a photo if she was part of this group. Yes, I do have a photo of her. I do. Here's a photo of Erica Fox. This is the lady who they were looking for, and unfortunately have unable to be located in the water. There we go. Yeah, so very, very sad. I'm sure her family you know, it's a pretty sad story to have right before Christmas. And they're saying here on a different news channel, KRON4, they're saying after a search of more than 15 hours, the swimmer who went missing Sunday at Lovers Point has been pronounced dead. According to a joint statement from the U.S. Coast Guard, Pacific Grove Police, and Monterey Fire Department. The swimmer was identified as 55-year-old Erica Fox, and the woman's family has been notified by authorities. They said Monday night the search for Fox had been suspended. Fox was first reported missing Sunday afternoon when authorities received a call about her disappearance. Authorities did not confirm whether or not Fox was attacked by a shark. There you go. They're saying she was swimming with the group, and the officials tell the news channel that a report of a shark attack was received, but the Coast Guard did not locate any evidence of one. So they couldn't find any evidence that a shark had attacked anyone at all. So there you go. Sad story, but the reason I brought it to you is you don't often hear quotes like that where someone actually witnessed the shark breaching the water with a body in its mouth. that tells me it might be a great white, because great whites are known for jumping out of the water. And it's possible maybe she got taken by a white shark, which is off the coast of California. I would not, be surprised if they were like, yeah, it was a great white, because there are a lot of white sharks that live off California. So, yeah, very, very sad story. I feel like I've just brought you either weird or sad stories tonight. Can we ever have any happy stories? Apparently not. Apparently we're not allowed to do that because it is a true crime channel. So I don't know. Maybe the shark will be charged with murder. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Maybe the animal court will eventually make an arrest, and maybe he'll tell where he put the body. We'll have to wait and find out. They might do like a Shark Flicks documentary. It might be like, 2-hour documentary. We'll have to wait and see. All right. What else do we have on our updates for tonight? We have a lot. I have a lot of updates, unfortunately. We could do that. Maybe something a bit lighter. Let's see. What else do I have? Yeah. We could go to Ohio. Do you guys want to go to Ohio? I don't actually want to go there, but do you want to go there and watch a video of something crazy? Yeah, I'll show you. So this story came out since I last spoke to you. A couple were picked up in a Walmart, and they were sitting down. They were trying to tell them, hey, we've busted you. You've been busted for shoplifting. Okay? Shoplifting. Pretty, run-of-the-mill type of crime. But if you haven't seen this video as of yet, watch what happens halfway through their sort of investigation into shoplifting.
5550.
A Canton police officer is lucky to be alive. An accused shoplifter, as you just saw in that video, pointing a gun in his face and pulling the trigger. The video is unbelievable, so scary. Thankfully, that gun somehow did not go off. This happened at the Walmart in Canton just yesterday. Our Aria Janelle walks us through the body camera footage from the beginning.
So what happened is he pulled the gun, like it looks like a Glock firearm. I'm not sure if it is, but that's what it looks like. Pulls this gun and actually pulls the trigger on it. He actually goes to shoot the person standing in front of him, but the gun jammed. The gun jammed, and I think the person he was going to kill figured out that the gun had malfunctioned, and that's when they jumped on him. I mean, for shoplifting. The weird thing is, I also read that this guy got arrested for shoplifting, got sat in the office, and gave the police and the security that were investigating a box of drugs. So he had a box of drugs on him, and he willfully pulled it out and showed it to the security and was like, yeah, I got a box of drugs on me. So I don't know if that was a setup to distract them for a period of time until he could pull the firearm. But according to what I know, he had been known for being armed in the past with confrontations with police. And maybe they should have searched him when he got into that room. But yeah, brutal. Like, that guy's life must have flashed before his eyes when he saw the weapon, because that could have ended very, very differently. All over shoplifting from a Walmart. Like, what would you actually get for that? In some states in America, shoplifting under $1,000 is not even really a crime anymore. You just get a fine, and that's it.
Are we going to jail?
23-year-old Katarina Jeffrey asking a foreshadowing question as she sits next to 21-year-old Shane Newman.
Unless something crazy happens.
Canton police were called to the Walmart on Atlantic Boulevard Thursday afternoon for two people shoplifting. Before the two sat down, Newman was patted down.
Nothing on you was going to poke me, stab me.
Newman replies no. Minutes pass as the officer asks the two people for their names. After giving the officer a fake name, Newman pulls a gun out of a pouch he was hiding. I want to play that video again because you can hear the gun click. He then tries to reload and points it at the officer again. Heroically, the theft prevention officer Conrad jumps on Newman, causing him to drop that gun.
You know, he's very lucky he's alive. He had a gun like right on his head, and I swear I saw that guy's hand flinch. Like he was gonna shoot him and he would have been gone. He would have been dead. He better thank his lucky stars he's alive too. Marilyn says 21 years old and walking around shoplifting, carrying boxes of drugs, and willing to shoot people over being detained over shoplifting. It's what a world we live in. Yeah, he had prior history and warrants. Yeah, he would have. No, I don't think he would have gone away for that long, but obviously didn't want to go away for any time. Cop was writing him a ticket and letting them go. Could have just gone, yeah, because it's just a shoplifting charge. It's bizarre. It's so you'd rather kill people, even though you're just going to be let go. Lux said the girl's just as bad. She's been charged with robbery like 3 times. At least she had the sense of mind to be like, don't. She was actively discouraging him, like, don't do that. So at least she had some sort of conscience. Future Darwin Award winners, yeah, could be. Not the sharpest crayons in the box. I don't think they are crayons. They're more like the Dollar Tree ones you get. They're not crayons. They're more like colored pencil sticks. They're colored pencil sticks, but they're not even Crayola. They're just, the Dollar Tree version. That definitely attempted murder. Canton, Ohio is a rough place, hey? Marlene says it's where the Hall of Fame is. It is. I Hate Morning says, I saw the whole video. The cops said the guy almost died. Yeah, 100%. I saw him flinch on the trigger, and I figured he was going to fire and shoot him. If you go back to, where is it? There's a moment where he has the gun right above him, and you can see, I'll take the audio off. Right there. He when he has this gun, he flinches. You can see his thumb and the muscle in his index finger flinch. And I swear he was going to absolutely blow him away. And I don't know what stopped him, but he didn't end up doing it. Yeah, let's go for a little forward in the video. Let's go here.
Man had one warrant of his own and was holding on to several pills.
Xannies? No, fentanyl.
A scary situation that could have ended with multiple lives lost.
He pointed right at my face and pulled the trigger. All right, he tried to do it again. Look. Thank God for Conrad. I guess I'm putting him in for an award. But Citizen of the Year.
Jeffrey is facing a robbery charge, and Newman is facing several charges, including assaulting a peace officer and attempted murder. The chief of the Canton Police Department says this is an example of gracious provision from God and wants to thank everyone who prays for their officers daily and their community. For 19 News, I'm Aria Janelle.
Now, moments ago, Walmart released a statement to 19 News on that attempted shooting and the Walmart employee who played a big role in getting that guy down, saying in part, quote, "We're proud of the brave action of our asset protection associate that he took to maintain the safety of everyone in our store." Well,
I'm surprised that what do they call him? Asset protection associate Next day was like, I don't get paid enough for this. I don't get paid enough to be shot and almost killed in my job. That sounds like a very dangerous job, being a loss prevention officer. Offer that guy a job? Yeah, offer that guy a job. Civilians did the job, right? The cop couldn't get a clear target because the guy fighting him was in the way. Yeah, I saw all that, and I'd say still he's very lucky. There was a point where is it? There's a point where he has a clear shot of his head. We might have to go back.
Was hiding.
There's a point where he actually has the gun there, right? Well, that's a clear shot. He could have killed him. May have shot his friend though. Right here, this line of sight here, it may have traveled through him and then hit the other guy, but he could have fired on him. It's pretty open. So, Chipmunk said, check out the Christmas what? A funny Christmas chipmunk photo. Okay. I will. I would if I had an email from you. I don't have an email from you. He needs a raise. He needs a day off. He needs something to do with Hawaii, and he needs a tropical drink. Warner still said that kid was just waiting for a cop to show up. Sounds like it. That kid is messed up. Chimong said he clearly tried to kill him, and the officer had to still move forward onto him so fast. Yeah, I agree. Hold on. I want to go up here. Muffin, you realize this is my seat, right? I'm sitting weirdly on this chair because Muffin is taking up the majority of the chair and he doesn't want to share. Hold on. Someone. Oh, yeah, I have seen that video. It's a tiger shark. Yeah, I have seen that video. Yeah, Muffin's being a jerk. He's like right here and he's taking up like all of the seat. He won't share with me, will you? Huh? You know it's not your seat, right? It's Dad's seat. It's not your seat. No, don't lick my hands. He licks my hands when he thinks I'm mad. He's like, "Oh, lick your hands, Dad. It'll calm you down." I'm a Walmart girl. That's what you think. I know. It's his chair now. Can you play it if possible? The one with the shark and the sailboat thing? It's like really old. Hold on. I got to actually find one that's like not protected. I don't know if I can. Yeah, maybe I could play this. I don't know if I'll be able to play it. I could probably just show it to you, like show you what happens. So there's a guy, Hawaii nearshore fishing, and he's on his kayak here fishing in the ocean. I think he's got a fish. And he's like fishing and he's like, "Oh, what a great time in Hawaii." And then you see right here, I'll make it bigger. Right at the like bow of his boat or his kayak, you see the face of a shark. And this shark is coming in at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. And I could probably play this bit here. The shark, you can see him. I think he's chasing whatever's on the line for the kayaker.
It looks like a scene from the movie Jaws, and for Scott Haraguchi, an experience so scary, he says if he didn't catch it on video, people probably wouldn't believe him.
There you go. Giant tiger shark trying to take someone out on a kayak. Pretty cool. Oh, a windsurfer in Australia? Windsurfer. Windsurfer. Australia. I don't think I saw a windsurfer one. Oh, I see. Oh, I see a guy in. Yeah. All right. I can't see the video for it, but I can see the surfboard. So that is his surfboard. He was kite surfing on the Margaret River. Now, Margaret River is in Western Australia. It is very well known that in the Margaret River, there is giant sharks that live there, like massive white sharks that live in the Margaret River. And look at the mouth on that thing. And it bit straight through the board too. Normally you see it and they bite it and just leaves a teeth mark. That's crazy. That is crazy. I don't think I can find a video though. Okay, maybe here. Hold on, guys.
Day. You see his board here, not so lucky with the shark biting a huge chunk out of it. We've got some footage that actually shows the moment the shark knocked the 61-year-old off his board. There he goes down, and he said it felt like a freight train.
The shark must have dived because everything went underwater, myself and all my gear. And at that point, I was like punching it and wrestling with it and pretty much just trying to get away from it and kicking it. But I thought I was gone for. I just thought this is it. This is the moment that is the end of my life.
Wow. And despite that scary encounter, Andy says he's already ordered a new board. And get this,
We lost the audio. What? It's no good. That's all right. We're back. Good night, everyone. Is it? Yeah, there's a show tomorrow. Yeah, there's a show tomorrow. I don't know how long I was muted for. I think I was telling you about the Margaret River. I was trying to show you that the Margaret River, and I was trying to show you that it's very deep ocean off the coast here. So when you look at the ocean here, and then there's the Margaret River. So the Margaret River leads into the ocean. That's why they call it the Margaret River. I don't think the sharks actually live in the river. They sort of live here in the oceany bit. And what makes it great for surfing and things like that also makes it great for sharks because it's very deep. It's very deep water, very, very close to the shoreline. Like you can see how dark that water gets. Very like, only a couple of 100 meters offshore. It gets extremely deep and dark. So what makes it great for surfers and surfing competitions and stuff like that makes it really great for absolutely giant sharks. And what I was trying to show you is if you just keep going this way, there's nothing. For hundreds and hundreds of miles, there's just some of the deepest ocean known to the world is off the coast of here. Out through here is some of the so if you don't know what's out here, I'll show you. Out here is some of the deepest ocean in the world. This is where they're searching for MH370. Hold on, guys. All right, I'm back. Sorry, I had to let Mrs. Ping in. Say hi, Mrs. Ping. Hi. That's all you get. That's all she wants to say. Do you have any? What's that? What have you got? Oh. She brought home chocolate and raspberry meringues for Christmas or something to eat. So chocolate raspberry meringue. Sounds good. Here you go. What else? What's that? Oh, she also has this. Fruit mince pies from Walker's. Are you gonna get some more of the caramel ones? No, the caramel ones from Ferguson's. Oh, aren't you going there tomorrow to get bread?
Well, yeah, but I don't know what time they shut. I think something just closes early.
Okay.
We have to get it tonight.
Wait, where are you gonna get baguettes from though? All right. Okay. Mrs. Ping spoils me. It's not for me. It's not for me. Oh, is she going to build her Kit Kat house? Yes, but we're probably going to do it on Christmas Day for you guys, because that's the only day she's home. So I don't like mince pies, so I am not a fan. I don't like minced fruit. Minced fruit is like Ping's worst nightmare. I think that is like, I can't think of anything worse to put in something yummy like a pie. You're like, have a nice sweet pie. What's in it? Chopped up dried fruit. And it's like, no, like there's so many better things you could put in that. You could put caramel, apple pie, some sort of berries, custard, chocolate, other stuff. Things that are not minced up fruit. I am not a fan. I'm not a fan of mince pies. Lux says, I'm so glad Mrs. Ping is doing better. I was really worried about her and thought of her often when she was in hospital. She had her like 6 month checkup like a week or so ago, and she got a decent result from it. So, oh, I don't have an email from you, do I? Hold on, let me double check. Oh, I got one from 2 people saying we don't have any audio, but that's it. There's no other emails. Yeah, I don't like cooked fruit. No. Chipmunk says it was great seeing her eat all these yummy things. Yeah. She can eat most stuff now. Most stuff. When last year she couldn't eat anything. She was living off like liquid diet for about 12 months, right? Now you can eat everything. Yeah. What are you gonna look? What are you looking forward to for Christmas in 2 days? Like, what do you want to eat? Yeah.
My grandmother's plum pudding.
Yeah.
Pudding.
Yeah.
Going to that every year.
Yeah.
Her lemon slices.
Yeah. Lemon slice is pretty good. Anything else?
Prawns.
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 Okay.
I don't know. There's always so much.
Yeah.
I think they're the definite highlights. Christmas ham.
Okay. They said, have you been to the Hello Kitty Cafe yet? No. So we were supposed to go. We were going to go when we were going to go to Aaron Patterson's sentencing, but then plans changed because we didn't end up going to Aaron's sentencing in the city because we were able to live stream it and use the court vision. We ended up staying here, and I didn't end up going to the city for it. So what is it? Oh, eggnog. Oh, here, give me that. So in Australia, we actually get eggnog. So I know this is a big American thing, but we actually get eggnog here. I've never had it before, and this is the first year we bought it, but you get eggnog in Australia too. I figure it's just like drinking custard. I'm guessing it's just like drinking a cup full of thin custard. Here, do you want this cookie? Do you want this? Yeah, put it in the fridge. Thanks. Yeah, so we get eggnog here. Never tried eggnog. The name just puts me off. Okay. Kathy says can't bring myself to try it. I don't know. It sounds good to me. I like anything that's custard. Anything that's like custard or something, I'm good. Custard tarts and eggs and pies and stuff, I'm good. Like I like that type of stuff. Who's messaging me? Oh, it was you. All right. Hey, while we're having a bit of a break from stories, I want to thank Deborah. Deborah, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. I also want to thank my friend Wendy R. Wendy R. It's so good to hear from you, my friend. I hope you're doing really well over this holiday season. Who else do we have to thank? I want to thank my friend that doesn't have a name. You're very kind. Thank you very much. And I want to thank my other friend, Four Sons Mom. Thank you so much. You're very, very kind. All of you are. You are very, very sweet people. Eggnog is like custard. I figured it's like drinking custard. Homemade eggnog is much better. We'll see. All right. All right. What other updates do I have? Let's head out to DeKalb County. DeKalb County in the US. You know what's funny about Atlanta, Georgia? They always seem to have people who seem to be able to run out of their jails. Why? I have questions as to why that seems to happen quite frequently. I'm going to show you something if it'll play. Hold on. Yes, I'm going to take you to Fox 5 in Atlanta.
We do start with some breaking news. I want to take you out to DeKalb County Jail where we learned 3 inmates have escaped. Our Rob D'Arienzo can pick it up from there. I want him to tell you a little bit more about what we're hearing about this incident. Rob?
Hey there, Judea. Good morning to you. As this garbage truck goes by, forgive me. Some pretty serious situation down here at the DeKalb County Jail this morning. We're hearing 3 inmates managed to escape custody, and the sheriff's office tells us that at this hour they believe that these inmates should be considered dangerous and potentially armed. I want to put up a picture of these 3 gentlemen on the screen so you can keep an eye out for them. Authorities identified the escapees as 31-year-old Yusuf Minor. He faces 2 counts of armed robbery. Then there's 24-year-old Stevenson Charles, who is charged with murder and armed robbery, and 2 counts of possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. And then there's 25-year-old Naud Yahones, who is charged with simple assault, arson, and unlawful acts of violence in a penal institution. Now, the sheriff's office tells us they realized that these fugitives were missing during a routine security check earlier this morning. They say the internal security teams immediately began searching the area and now are working with other local law enforcement agencies to locate and apprehend the fugitives. But as you can imagine, back out here live, there's a degree of concern in the DeKalb County community. What I find interesting at this point, though, is it doesn't seem like things are too out of the ordinary just to the naked eye. We do know that the chopper that DeKalb County Sheriff's Office has is currently on the roof over there, and we haven't seen too much activity this morning in terms of a search. We don't know if deputies or authorities have an idea of roughly where these 3 men can be. But again, very serious charges these men face, and now they appear to be out on the run. A lot of unanswered questions at this point, Judea. We're hoping to gather more information about exactly how these guys were managed to
So someone asked, how do they escape? They just walk out the front door. That's what happens. They just leave and they're just like, see you later, we're escaping. And they just walk out the front door. I actually don't think that's how it happens, but somehow they got out. They said U.S. Marshals joined the manhunt after the 3 inmates escaped during a routine security check. How do you escape doing that? They say investigators have not explained how the inmates escaped or how long they've been missing before discovery. Oh, well, that's clever. When was the last time anyone saw them? Was it like a year ago? What do you mean you don't know how long they've been missing for? Like, how often do you check in with inmates you would think it would be daily. There'd be some sort of like head count that's done and you would check people in their cell. That's concerning that apparently you don't know how long they've been missing for. So they said the men either escaped on the evening of December 21st or early in the morning of December 22nd. They're saying here, wait. So this guy, Stevenson Charles, this guy with the hair, they're saying he has committed numerous serious crimes and was serving a life sentence at the time of his escape. They said he's been charged with or convicted of murder, aggravated assault, weapons violation, S-word on a person less than 10 years old, kidnapping, carjacking, armed robbery, and probation violations. What's this person? This person is Stevenson Charles. Okay. Minor. So another one called Minor. The other 2 don't have a history that they can give us, but the one that they're really interested in is Charles Stevenson. And apparently he's got that really terrible background. He's got a bit of everything. He's been charged or convicted with murder, aggravated assault, weapons violation, S-word on a person less than 10 years old, kidnapping, carjacking, armed robbery, and probation violations. The U.S. Marshal said Charles is extremely dangerous. The public is urged not to approach the men and to use extreme caution. Yeah, I would take extreme caution. They apparently... Yeah, crazy. This is not the first prison escape that we've done from, I think, even this county. I think we've done it from this county before. So you have to ask, why is it so easy for people to get out of the jail? The 2 where we get a lot are Georgia and New Orleans. New Orleans has a lot of escaped inmates. Same with Georgia. and I don't know why. Maybe their prisons are not built very well. Maybe there's easy ways to get out of the prison. I'm not sure, but this is not the first one I've done out of this particular area. I'm just trying to see if we can find more or a better update. Any better updates about it? Here, I'll put their photos up so you guys can see them. There's their photos for you. They're just saying that all three of them are considered possibly armed and dangerous. They say authorities have not said how the three men escaped, but on scanner traffic, dispatchers said they heard reports of loud noises coming from the vents inside the jail and found a rope tied to a vent extending out of the jail. The rope is long enough to touch the ground. If we cut it, it's still going to be hanging from all the way at the top, according to scanner traffic. So they somehow tied a rope through the venting system and were able to get to the outside. There you go. Oh, okay. So Charles, the one that they're really interested in, they're saying that he was charged in connection with the 2022 shooting death of a Lithuania man, Charles Steinck. And they're saying here that his father, Brian, Carl's dad, was told on Monday from a victim advocate that the suspect in his son's death had escaped jail. Let's have a look. Can we find that case? 2022 shooting death. I can't find the original case, but I can find an obituary for the young man that died. So this is the victim of one of the escapees here. He died in 2022, was shot by one of the people who escaped, Charles. And they're saying here, passed away November 14, 2022. But it doesn't explain how or why he got into this altercation with Charles Stevenson. Yeah, there was no press done on it at the time. There was no like news reports at the time, which is interesting for a shooting death. Yeah, I can't find anything about what happened back in 2022, but that is the obituary for Carl. But they're not saying how it happened, which I'm guessing is you probably wouldn't put it on a obituary. Yeah, how sad. So the victim's father, this guy's father, was rang today and told, "Hey, you know that guy that killed your son? Oh, he got out of jail. He escaped." I imagine how frightening that would be for a victim's family. That'd be pretty awful. Let's see. Rachel said, "Sounds like a serious design flaw at the jail or something. How can you get through the vents with a rope and that be okay in a jail?" Chipmunk said, "That would stress me out to hear that. What if the dad thinks he might be coming for him? Because if he's been advocating for his son and justice for his kid, I mean, you might think he might be coming after you as a target." The three are here. Here's three of them. That's Stevenson here. These two are, if I go back here, the one on the far right is Yusuf Minor. And the one in the middle is Noed Johannes. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But yeah, Noed Johannes and then Yusuf Minor. The one on the far left is Stevenson Charles. I actually thought they had his first name last and his last name first, but it's not. his name is literally Stevenson Charles. So someone hated him as a child and gave him a last name as a first name and a first name as a last name. Maybe that explains his offending in life. Maybe he's angry about his name. Yeah, so there you go. There's the three of them. At least one of them involved in extremely violent crime, multiple murder charges. They are real bad guys, like the real version, not the fake version. They're real ones. Very, very bad dudes. So far, none of the three have been found, and none of them have been cited as of yet either. So they are hiding somewhere around. Let's have a look. Yep. Okay. I was going to show you another story, but I might do that one tomorrow. There was a you know how we've been talking a lot about cruise ship deaths in the last few years. Like we had one in Australia where a woman went on a cruise ship and then went on a hike and died on the hike. Then we have the death of the teenage girl in Florida who died on a cruise ship. Well, apparently there was an Italian woman who died recently on a cruise ship after falling, and she ended up dying because in the fall, her lungs basically imploded and it killed her. I'm just trying to find if we can get a better version of the story for you. Hold on. Her name is Denise Ruggieri. I don't think I can find a video for you, unfortunately, but I can find an article. So here she is. This is her, Denise. Another in 2025, a cruise ship death. And they're saying here she was a cruise ship passenger found dead after the vessel she was on collided with another ship on Egypt's Nile River on Sunday, December 21. According to local reports, Denise from Italy sustained a fatal lung injury when she fell amid the crash. Yeah, they're saying her lungs basically popped from being impacted in the crash. They're saying the teacher who was on vacation in Egypt is dead after the cruise ship she was on collided with another tourism vessel on the Nile. And they're saying here the 47-year-old teacher from Italy was traveling with her husband when she fell amid the crash and sustained fatal injuries. They're saying the crash occurred following attempts to pass through a lock on the waterway. As a result of the collision, people on board fell into the water and 4 cabins on the boat were destroyed. Ruggieri suffered a punctured lung when she fell inside her cabin and couldn't be saved despite medical intervention. How sad. Like there's people who get punctured lungs all the time and they survive. And the fact that she has a random fall on a cruise ship and somehow passes away from the injury. It's like almost like a 1 in a million because there's football players, there's people in car crashes, or people who do all sorts of things and end up with a punctured lung. But somehow it resulted in her death. I'm trying to find out why exactly. It doesn't say. Just that she'd been traveling with her husband and she fell inside the cabin, puncturing her lungs. Odd. Let me see what else I can find about her. Like, it doesn't seem like a fatal injury. Like, yes, your lungs cause you to breathe, but there's people who survived that injury. Oh, wow, look at the boat. Holy crap. Just from like a minor, like, like a fender bender on the ocean. Look at this. No wonder it destroyed 4 cabins. What kind of impact was this? You can't even tell where one ship ends and the other one starts. Like, they're completely mangled. Look at that. That's insane. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's really odd. Unless she punctured both lungs and then was unable to breathe and she died from basically asphyxiation. I mean, that's about the only thing I can think of. Other than that, like, when you have lung surgery, they puncture your lungs and then they deflate. And then you breathing reinflates them. So I'm confused. Lux says, okay, good night, my friend. Have a good sleep. Gail said maybe they couldn't help her as they were on the river. No, they said they got medical intervention to her, but she died anyway. Maybe she was not found right away. Maybe. Marlene says, I was thinking about a river cruise. Maybe not now. Sorry, I didn't mean to put you off your holiday, but just don't go down the Nile. Don't go down the Nile. Don't do that. Let me have a look. Yeah, strange, right? Really strange. Really strange. I don't have any more information. A lot of it's in Italian, so I can't read it. I don't speak Italian, unfortunately. Let's have a look. So I do have my translator on. Let's have a look. They're saying died last night in Luxor in the collision between 2 ships on the Nile. A teacher by profession. Yeah, it just doesn't really say. The Italian tourist reportedly suffered a punctured lung during the fall, and desperate attempts to take her to the hospital in Esna failed to save her life. Egyptian authorities have opened an investigation to clarify the cause of the incident. There you go. So they did try to get her to a hospital on the land, but yeah. Woman still said that is just horrible. Was she speared through both lungs? It doesn't tell me. I was almost thinking that maybe it was the collision, like the hard force injury that can cause a lung to deflate. So I don't know if that's what it was. Maybe she was impaled. Maybe you're right. I mean, when you look at the ship, if someone told you that she was impaled on an object, I'd believe it. That image of the ship is insane. Yeah, where is that? Where's our image? Yeah. Like, look at that. Oh my god. Muffin, hold on. Sorry about that. He keeps pouring into my back, and I'm like, Muffin, it kills. Because what he's trying to do is he's trying to push me off the chair. So he's put his paws into my back and he just pushes like constant pressure. And I'm like, buddies, no more. Dad's got a sore back already. Go away. Gail said, Lord Muffin, ugh, naughty Bubba. That's what he is. Chipmunk said, what age did she teach? It doesn't say what age exactly, just that she was a teacher in Italy. Let's see, does this one have her age? So she was taken to a nearby hospital in critical condition, but later died in the intensive care unit of the hospital. It just says she fell inside her cabin and suffered a serious lung injury. Well, a serious lung injury is different from a punctured lung. That could mean she tore her lung. It means she could have had some sort of contusion in her airway, all sorts of things. But they're saying here the ship's captain, his license has reportedly been withdrawn due to the accident and the death of the teacher. So he cannot do any more sailing at the moment. Here's another photo of some of the damage. Check that out. That ship just basically got like wiped out. What was it made of? Tissue paper? I can't believe like a ship that can happen to just a ship. Like, I mean, I know they're not invincible, but they're normally made of steel and metal. Like, that just looks like it crumpled, like a $2 can. Yeah, I think whatever her injury was pretty serious. Like, look at the damage on that and how fast those two ships must have been going. Gayla said broken rib puncture her lungs. It could have been. It could have been. Yeah, she was 47. I don't understand how they crashed it. It looks clear out and still daytime. They were both trying to negotiate a lock, so a smaller, narrower passageway in the river. So the two ships were trying to get through the lock. Yeah, so that's all I have though. I wish we had more about her. It's very sad, but also somewhat odd. Let's see, according to the let's have a look. No other details, but there is another photo of her. Here's a photo of the victim, unfortunately, there. That's Denise with her father, Ronaldo. So that's her dad. And yeah. How sad. Apparently some passengers were actually thrown overboard into the water and had to be rescued from the water itself. They don't crash test boats like they do cars. Well, maybe they should after this particular accident. Yeah, it has to have been quite violent to do that kind of damage to a boat. Like, I don't think they just bumped into each other. It's not possible. Like, there's that part of the damage. And then when you see the other back end of the ship, it's completely moved all 3 layers of the boat. And it's actually like warped the entire thing. They would have to have been going at a hell of a speed to do that kind of damage. There will be lawsuits, 100%. Yeah, smash into each other, right. Gail said it is Egypt, not as strict as us. Well, that's probably true. Standards and safety are probably not as high as in Western countries. That would be pretty obvious. But yeah, poor lady. Denise Rigari, dead at 47, unfortunately, due to, she probably thought this was the trip of a lifetime to go travel the world after working for many years as a teacher. She gets overseas and then she ends up dying on the Nile River and doesn't come home. And her husband, unfortunately, has to repatriate her body back to Italy. That to me is, I think everyone's worst nightmare when traveling overseas. I don't think anyone wants to have to do that. Yes, just like in a car. Sean said, surely they couldn't do 30 knots, 15 meters per second. I don't know how big one of those type of boats could do, but I guess when you have that amount of mass, so a boat is quite heavy, full of steel, even if you have a bit of speed on it, it's like the difference between having a feather crashing into a wall and then something that weighs 12 ton crashing into a wall. The damage is going to be much more because of the mass of the object, and the object here being the boat. It's got to weigh like an absolute ton. So, yeah, crazy. Really crazy. How sad. Sad story about Denise Regari. And hopefully we find out more about what happened to her. But right now they are investigating her death. That's all I have. So hopefully in a couple of days we'll know more. But yeah, that's it for today. That's it. I think that's it on the updates as well. Let me check one other place. It's been a bit slow. All the courts have closed. Most of the trials and that have shut down here now, and it's going into Christmas mode. So let's have a look. Let me check if there's any other updates that I want to bring to you. I think that's it for today. I think that's about it. Yeah. Yep. I think that's going to be it for today. But I will be back tomorrow, and then tomorrow is Christmas Eve. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow night. I'm going to be on for probably a bit longer than normal, probably like 3 to 4 hours, because I'm home alone on Christmas Eve. So we can all hang out for the evening, and you guys can keep me company tomorrow night and waste some hours talking to Ping and doing some true crime. Oh, you want me to show the chipmunk photo? Okay. All right. How do I do this? Okay. This is from Chipmunk. There you go. Merry Christmas from Alvin and the Chipmunk. Oh, he has some holly covering his chipmunk bits. There you go. It's almost like the full Monty, but in chipmunk. There you go. Merry Christmas from the Chipmunk. There you go. Hey, Top Secret to you. Good to see you. Kathy said, did you put up a tree? No, we didn't put one up this year. We were looking for a new tree. We wanted to get one of those ones where it already has the lights in it, like a fiber optic tree, but we couldn't find anything we liked, and so we didn't want to buy something just to buy it. So we didn't end up buying anything. So no, we didn't end up putting up a tree this year, but we are looking for one. So maybe we'll find one soon. Maybe we'll find one in the sales after Christmas. But yeah, we wanted something that was like you could plug it in and it already had like the twinkly lights in the fur of the tree. And then all you had to do is put decorations on it instead of actually wrapping the lights around it. But we didn't find anything we liked. So you watched Alvin and the Chipmunks growing up? So did I. Alvin and the Chipmunks, the original one, is so much better than the stupid movies that they do today. The ones they do today are terrible. The cartoon that I watched growing up is superior. The one that was a cartoon is so good. Need a flat wall one? Maybe, yeah, for behind me. We could put it on the wall and it lights up like a Christmas tree. Kathy said, no tree or decorations for us this year. Hubby having shoulder surgery on the 31st. I hope he will be okay. Make your own watch YouTube videos. Make your own tree. You can do that? I'll have to look it up. I didn't know you could make your own tree. Chipmunk said old cartoons are much better. I like the old Alvin and the Chipmunks. It's way better than the new one. All right. Balsam Hill, if you want to sell a kidney. I don't want to sell a kidney. I like my kidneys. All right. I love you all. I'll be back tomorrow. Christmas Eve in Australia. You're going to come hang out with me for like 3 or 4 hours. and we're going to hang out. We're just going to talk Christmas stuff, catch up on some updates, and I don't know. We'll figure it out. All right. I love you all. Have a good night out there. Sleep well. Come back Christmas Eve in Australia. And then the day after, we'll do it all over again in America. So we sort of get like 2 Christmas Eves and 2 Christmas days because I'm in Australia and you're in America. All right. I love you all. Hey, thanks to Sean for the donation. I appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you're counting down your Christmas days. Not too many left. I hope you got all your like shopping done and see, you know, all that finished already. You don't want to be out there on Christmas Eve fighting an old lady for like a can of like cranberry sauce or something. You know, you'd have to fight her off with a cane. You don't want to have to do that. So I hope you got all your stuff done, and you can be very relaxed. You can relax for the last couple of days. All right. Good night, everyone. I love you all. Bye.